Bernie, how's it going? It's good to finally talk with you and see you in person in front of us, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man.
Can you, I think the best place to start, it's obviously our first time. So walk us through kind of your journey from Africa to Oklahoma State as best as you can.
My journey from back home to here was a long journey, and I'm glad that I'm here. And I have a chance back home that a coach called basically he's like a coach back in France named Anissé Kesseli, and he went back. He's from Chad, but basically he live in France. So when he went back to Chad, he saw me play. So he asked my coach back home. He's like, "Oh, who's that kid?" So my coach introduced me to him, and we have a talk. And he's like, "Okay, we're gonna be in touch. I'm gonna go back to France, and I'm gonna be in touch with you." So I'm like, "Okay." So I'll be keep practicing, and one day he called my coach. So he's like, "Oh, I need a video from Bernard so I can send it some school back in US. So they want some big men." So I'm like, "Okay." So we did the video. We sent it to him, and he sent it to some high school here. So basically, they got me a scholarship, and I think after 2 months, right after 2 months, they make me fly down here to Boston, Massachusetts. Basically, is a high school called Redemption Christian Academy. So I went there. That's where I start. I started there like for 1 year, and after I transferred to Our Savior Lutheran in New York Bronx, and from there, that's where like I played there like for 3 years, and uh, I have like a back home we have like our transcript was in French, so I supposed to go to college, and when we send it to the NCAA, basically they say now I have to translate the transcript to English before they accept it. So the time I translate it is like a deadline already. So I have to go to JUCO for 1 year before transfer back to G1. So that's where I went to South Plain College for 1 year before transfer here to Oklahoma.
So you go through all that, the technicality gets you on the transcript. Um, what has it been like for you to finally get this chance at this level, considering everything you had to go through to get here?
It was a great, you know, I know he wasn't there for because my transcript was in French, so I have to translate it all that. So, was a great chance. I have the finally be eligible to be a G1 player.
For you, how have things changed since you've been here? I know you've lost a bunch of weight. You're finding more time on the basketball courts. Kind of what's it been like once you've gotten here?
It's been great. It's been great. The first day, uh, like when I have a first call with Coach Mike, he told me, "Are you ready to be like you be in shape?" I'm like, "Yes, I will do anything." So when I got here, you know, Coach Jake, our strength coach, like I be with him uh, even after practice, some uh, extra time with him like in the weight room, be working on it like every time.
How much have you changed since you've been here?
I changed a lot. When I came here, I was 268, and now I'm 246. So I lost a lot of weight, and the credit go to Coach Jake. He really helped me get down to that weight.
Awesome. I'll let someone ask questions, but I'll probably come back.
Okay.
No problem. Our next question is from Frank Bonner at the Tulsa World.
Bernie, how's it going?
Good, sir.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how has this experience been for your parents with you being over in Stillwater? And then, how has that been for them?
Uh, it's hard, but like they say, you gotta make a sacrifice so your kid can have like good success. So that's why, they back home, we have like we be calling in WhatsApp, so sometimes we be FaceTiming, in WhatsApp. So that help a lot.
So about how often do you speak with them, on occasion?
I speak with them like 4 times a week, Uh, yeah, I can say 4 times a week. And basically, I got to stay up until like 12 or 1 a.m. because, the time is different. When it's 12 here, it's like 6 or 7 a.m. back home. So, yeah.
And then with you, getting more playing time in these last couple of games, how have that been for you? Getting more game time recently.
Uh, it's been good. I do my job. When coach asks me to go in there, I just go there and do my job, you know, and try to help the team the best I can.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Next question from Marshall Scott. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Bern, thanks for taking the time. Kind of speaking of your parents, are they tall? Where did your size come from?
Yeah, my size come from my dad. He's like 7'2", and he played volleyball. So that's where my size come from.
That's awesome. Do they get to watch any of the games? I don't know what that's like with the time and everything.
They watch some games on YouTube, and when the games was posted on YouTube, they go there and watch it. So,
Got you. How I'm just reading on Wikipedia, so maybe not the best source, but it says the official languages of Chad are Arabic and French.
yeah, our first language is French, second is Arabic, and third is a little bit English. But when back home, nobody like speak English. Even from me, when I come to the United States, I wasn't even speak. I was like zero English, like basically, and it was like I have to put it, work on it. Like that's why.
You mentioned your dad played volleyball. How did you kind of get into basketball? Who were kind of some of the people you like to watch whenever you were younger?
Basically, I started with volleyball, and when I was little, I started with volleyball or soccer, and one day I just decide, like I see some people was playing basketball, so I'm like, you know what, let me go try it. So when I tried it, I fall in love with it, and basically I never went back to volleyball. And my dad was a little bit, disappointed, but they be arguing with my mom, like, nah, he got to go back to volleyball. My mom, like, nah, he choose basketball, so we cannot force him, like, So, that's why they let me play basketball.
Going back to the languages, which of the three is the hardest to learn? I just grew up, learning English, but I hear that English is kind of a tough language to learn.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. First, when I start learning, some friend be laughing at me, but some others be like, just don't worry about them. Just keep like say whatever you like. You saying it, even you say it wrong, just say it. Like you're gonna get better on it. So that's where I am now.
Gotcha. Thanks, Bern.
Yeah, thank you.
Jacob, sounds like is ready for that follow-up. Go ahead.
Yeah, Bernie, was it you mentioned the language being tough? Was the United States overwhelming at first? Because you hear of, like, say, foreign baseball players and stuff coming into the country and not knowing English and struggling to even order at a restaurant. Like, how overwhelming was the United States at first?
First, when I came first to the airport, I was lost basically. So I have to use my phone to go to Google Translate and write something and ask. So they're going, so I asked them to call this number for me because I'm new here, So they called the number and they say, okay, make him wait at this place and we're going to come pick him up. That's where they came and picked me up. And when we went to campus, basically, they gave me an app called Duolingo, I think. It's like a English app learning. So I started, learn English from there, basically.
Now, how comfortable? I mean, you're speaking pretty well. So how comfortable are you now with English?
Oh, English, I know some word I don't like understand well, but I keep asking for it, ask question every time, So thank God I speak well right now. So
I know you have 4 siblings. What
yeah.
are they into sports too, or what are they?
My other brother, he play volleyball and soccer basically, and my two sisters, they're not in sport basically. They just focus on school.
Now, are they all still back in Africa, or are they doing here?
Yes, sir.
And then I have to ask about your screening, because Isaac was just talking about your screening being pretty brutal on some of your teammates, and you don't let up in practice. Where did you kind of get this screening ability from? Where did you learn that's going to be kind of something you're really really good at?
When I transferred to RCV Lutheran, my coach you know what, we're gonna work a lot on pick and roll, and that's where I start getting a good screen. He always tell me, like, if you wanna be good pick and roll, you got to screen, you got to find the man, where to screen, at what moment, So that's where you're gonna help your game. He always told me it's not about about score or just do your job, exactly, even here at Oklahoma State, Coach Mike always tell us, you got to do your part, when you go in, just do your part, or screen, run the floor, or or rebound. That's he always told us that you got to do your job.
That's great. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
Frank, did you have a follow-up? Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, I just have one quick one. When you were talking about the language barrier, when you first got to the U.S., how much did that play a role? Was it difficult in on the basketball court, learning new concepts and learning new plays with that language barrier?
Yes, was really. I struggled with that. I think my freshman year, even with communicating with my teammates, be a little bit hard, and little by little I start learning, and that helped me a lot. And the game, from where I'm from, how we play and here was little bit, it was different, basically. So I have to work hard to adapt to the game from here. Back home we just playing, just play, go in, you just play. Here, you gotta if you gotta do your job, screen, basically do your job. Back home we just playing. We don't really have a system, or
So how long did it take for you to get comfortable with that part of the game? Just
I get comfortable with that in my sophomore year in high school. Yeah, that's where I start, understanding the game from here, all that.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
We probably have time for one more follow-up. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, Bern, you've lived in a lot of places in the United States already, with Boston and New York and Texas and Oklahoma. What are the best parts of the United States, and what are the worst parts of the United States?
New York, I can say it's good, but it's it's a lot of snow. That's where I didn't like it, and it's basically a lot of noise too. When you're in New York, you gotta hear a lot. Train here, police, all that. So I can say Oklahoma, I like it. It's quiet, and the weather is not that bad, and I really like it, Sam, in Texas, the weather is better, yeah. And Massachusetts, oh my God, it's cold. Some day we can have the snow all day, and that is I don't know. And where I come from, we never have a snow, or we didn't never have like a weather like this, so that like it really didn't help me. Like,
And then last thing for me, what's kind of your long-term goal? Do you want to stay in the United States post graduation? Do you want to go back to Africa? What do you want to do?
I want to stay. I can say I want to stay, but I want to see what my mom gonna think about it first before I make that decision.
All right, thanks, Bern.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate your time.